श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणीस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधितेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Now we will enter the second chapter of Aitareya Upanishad. In the first chapter of this Upanishad, the story about the creation was told. Now, this introduction to the second chapter is extremely good, and when we'll study and understand it, then why the story was told will be revealed to us. Asmin chaturthe adhyaye esha vakyartha. So, in this fourth chapter, this is the purpose. Why this fourth chapter has begun. Jagat utpatti sthiti pralaya krud asamsari sarvajna sarvashaktihi sarvavit sarvavidam jagat svataha anyad vastvantaram upadaya eva akashadi kramena srishtva swatma prabodhanartham sarvani cha pranim pranadimat sharirani swayam pravivesha. Now here, what is said, that Jagat Utpatti Sthiti Pralaya Krut Asamsari Sarvajna Sarvashaktiman, having this ability, having this power to create the world, to maintain the world, and to destroy the world, and yet he is a samsari. He is not entangled in his creation. Sarvajnaha, he is omniscient. Sarvashaktihi, he is omnipotent. And Sarvavit, he is the knower of everything. Sarvamidam jagat svataha anyat vastvantaram anupadaya eva. So, this world, without the help of any other external or any other object, vastvantaram anupadaya, without the help of any other upadan karan, material cause, eva akashadi kramena srishtva, he created this world, and swatma prabodhanartham cha sarvani pranadimat sharirani swayam pravivesha. So, having created, then swatma prabodhanartha, then for recognition of his own essential self, he entered this body which was created by him. Now, this is the simple translation. Now, please see. Our idea is to be very clear in our understanding, then everything is fine, or else we get lost. When I am all by myself, ekamevaditiya neha nanasti kinchana. And if I want to know myself and enjoy the being, so what will I do? I will go and stand before the mirror and then look at the mirror. So I purchased the mirror, I created the mirror, and then I have entered the mirror in the form of the reflection. And then I look at the reflection, but I know that I am looking at me. So this duality which is created through the reflection in the mirror by me, it is for what? Swatma prabodhanartha, for knowing myself, not for knowing others. So when I go and stand in front of the mirror and the reflection is seen, and by looking at the reflection, I don't come to know anybody else. See? This is the purpose why the God has created this world. To know himself. That doesn't mean he was unknown to him. See? When we stand before the mirror, it doesn't mean that we don't know our face. That doesn't mean that we have not known our existence, and yet we do that. In the same manner, so Sarvajna, Sarvashakti, Sarvavid, Sarvamidam Jagat, Swataha Anyat Vastvantaram Anupadaya Eva, without the help of any other external object. Now what we do? We have to take the help of another mirror, and then we can see. This is what in Dakshinamurti Stotra, the first verse tells, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam. This whole world is like the reflection in the mirror. Now normally interpretation of this verse, reflection in the mirror, is everything that is reflected is false, everything that is reflected, no, every reflection that is seen in the mirror is false, it is an illusion, it is lateral inversion, all those things come. But that is not the purpose, that is not the meaning. By telling that the reflection in the mirror is this kind, what are you going to get out of it? Nothing. By knowing that the reflection in the mirror is an illusion, you don't get anything. Then, what is said, that the mirror surface itself has become the five great elements. The mirror surface itself has become the jivas, the bodies, the good and the bad. The five great elements itself has become time and space. So, the surface of the mirror itself has become everything. And therefore we can see that. So what is the reflection? Reflection is, in the mirror is that the mirror itself has become everything. See how true it is. Now tell me, what will be the reflection of the space? We have seen this Jalakash, Ghatakash and Meghakash. So, reflection in the space is nothing but the expanse of vacuum, which is the extension of the same space, same mirror surface. Therefore, this Paramatma, having created Akashadi Kramena Swatma Prabodhanartham, for his own recognition of his own self. Then, Sarvanija Pranadimat Sharirani Swayam Pravivesha, and thereafter he entered these living beings, all the living bodies he entered. And then, after that what happened? Pravishyacha Swam Atmanam Yathabhutam Idam Brahma Asmi Iti Sakshat Pratyabuddhata. See, after having entered, see, here, Sajataha Bhutani Abhivekhyata. So Paramatma entered the bodies in the form of the Jiva by identification with the Pancha Mahabhutas, and Kim Iha Anyam Va Vadishat Iti. And then he started knowing, is there anything else other than me? And then he came to know that I alone am everywhere. So the Jiva Bhava, the limitations, the conditionings, everything is I alone. In this manner, this Paramatma recognized himself to be the Brahman after having entered this Jiva Bhava in the living beings. So, Pravishya cha swam atmanam yatha bhutam idam brahma asmi iti sakshat pratyabudhyata tasmat sa eva sarva sharireshu eka eva atma na anya iti. Now, what is the purpose of this? To tell is only one thing, and that is sarva sharireshu eka eva atma. Now, this is the foundation of our Vedanta Shastra. In the Yoga, Sankhya and Upasana, there they have one Atma per body separately. So there are many Jivas. See? Can we say that there are many principles of expression of electricity in many bulbs? No, principle is the same. Can we say that there are many lights coming out of many bulbs? No, the light is the same. In the same manner, this one supreme reality expressing through the living beings as a temporary individual, this is a principle. It can never be destroyed, and therefore Jiva can never be destroyed. See how important it is. And this Jiva Bhava is not a problem. Expression of electricity through the bulb as light, this is not a problem. Now find out what is Jiva. And therefore when one bulb cracks or broken or fused, nothing has happened. Either to the electricity or to the expression of electricity as light through bulb. This principle is intact. Then when the one bulb breaks, what happens? Nothing has happened. Therefore, there is nothing like somebody got realization and somebody got no realization, somebody is Papatma, somebody is Punyatma. Now tell me, if some bulb is red color and other bulb is green, third is yellow, should we call that these are different bulbs or differentness? No. Conditioning is only different, therefore it is said, otherwise it is the same thing. In the same manner, Pravishya cha swam atmanam yatha bhutamidam brahmasmiti sakshat pratyavadhyata tasmat sa eva sarva sharireshu eka eva atma na anyaha iti. Now underline this. This is the most important thing to be known. There is but one self in and through all the beings. There are not many selves. Now by this what has happened? By this the Dvaita has disappeared. Extremely simple. Now, don't we say that one sun alone is reflected in all the buckets, a dozen of them? Now, when you talk about the differences in the reflection, but the reflections are different, we can see very clearly with our eyes, okay, they are different. Now find out each reflection what it is. Is that reflection a solid reality? That reflection has no standing. Even the conditioning, be very attentive, this is a very subtle point. Even the impurity in the water or the disturbances in the water, they appear to be affecting the reflection, that the reflection is breaking. Reflection is dim, reflection is bright because of the conditioning of the reflecting media, the water, and yet even that cannot touch the reflection because reflection is not real. So, what is the conclusion? Conclusion is Jiva Bhava is not the reality. It is an expression of the reality. Like, light is not the reality. Electricity is the reality. Then what is the light? Light is the expression of the electricity. In the same manner, there is but one self, and this one self can be discovered only when the Jiva Bhava is transcended by proper understanding. Can we say that the reflection of the water in the Ganges, reflection of the sun in the Ganges water is holy, and reflection of the sun in the gutter is unholy? No. Why? Because sun is not affected by the reflecting media directly or indirectly, and the reflection has no existence. So who is impure? Who is holy? Who is unholy? Who is a sinner and who is a not sinner? Therefore, all these questions come in the mind only because the truth is not recognized as it is. Therefore, the sign of realization is Maunam Vyakhya Prakatita Para Brahma Tattvam Yuvanam. Maunam does not mean not talking. Maunam means there is not a single question which is born in the mind. In the 17th chapter, Bhagavan tells, Mauna is the discipline of the mind. It is not that of the speech. Bhava samshiddhi maunam. So, how simple this is. The moment you reach this point, you are gone. There is nothing that can be spoken of. So, Pravishyacha swam atmanam yatha bhutavidam brahmasmiti sakshat pratyabuddhata tasma sa eva sarva sharireshu eka eva atma na anya iti. And anyahapi and other places also, sama atma brahmasmi iti evam vidyat iti. Atma va idam eka eva agra asit iti. Brahma tattamam iti cha uktam anyatra cha. So these are the various quotations he has given. Therefore, there is only one self in all the multiplicity, and that Atma is the Brahma, that is I. In this manner, Atma va idam eva agra asit. There is but one reality before the creation. Now what is the creation again? Creation is two things. One is a sense of limitation, and second is the sense of otherness. As long as the sense of limitation and otherness is valid, you have no freedom from thoughts. Your thoughts will keep on bugging you. The thoughts cannot be removed. So, Sama Atma Brahmasmi iti eva vidyan Atma va idameka eva agre asin. And Brahma, this Brahma is what? Tatamam. Tata is permeating. And Tama is the limit of it. Like in Uttama. There is nothing bigger than Uttama. In the sense, Tatam means permeating. Like the water is permeating in the few objects. But in that manner, the Parabrahma Paramatma is not limited in its pervasiveness only in few objects. Like gold is permeated only in the golden ornaments. It is not permeating in the cloth. But unlike this, the Parabrahma is therefore Tata Tamam. So it is the supreme pervasive reality. Iti cha uktam, thus was said in the last chapter. Now hereafter the questions are raised. These questions are such a lovely thing to enjoy. Sarvagatasya sarvatmano bala agram matra api apravishtam nasti iti katham simanam vidarya prapadyata pipilika eva sushiram. Now question is asked. See, sarvagatasya sarvatmanaha, this Atma which is sarvagata, all pervading, sarvatmana, the essence of everything, and therefore bala agra matram api apravishtam nasti. Therefore there is nothing as insignificant as the tip of the hair. Is that which is not permeated by the Lord, it is not there. Atma is everywhere. Now this being the condition, katham simanam vidarya prapadyata? How can you say that this Atma has opened the crown and then he has entered through that as if he was not there or what? Example is in Pipilika eva Sushiram. Like the ants are entering their hole, in the same manner Atma has entered the head from above as if he was not there. Atma is all pervasive. So how can you say like this? We don't agree with this your Shruti statement. Now here, see the height of sarcasm. What the teacher says. Nanu ati alpamidam chodyam bahucha atra chodayitavyam. You said you found out only one mistake. There are many things to be found out. See, nanu ati alpamidam chodyam. You said very little. There are many more things that can be objected. For example, akaranaha san ikshata. He does not have the antakaran and yet sa ikshata, he thought. How did he think? Then anupadaya kinchin lokan asrujata, did not have any other material to create the world, and without the upadan karan he has created the world. Adbyaha purusham samudhrita amurshayata, and out of the water he has taken out. When you take out something from the water, only water cannot make a form, and yet he made a form out of it, one purusha akar. And tasya abhidhanad mukhadi nirbhinnam, and he simply looked at it and the mouth opened. And mukhadibhyascha agnyadayaha lokapalaha, and from the mouth like a vomition, all kinds of various gods, lokapala, they have come out. And teshancha ashanaya pipasadi sanyojanam, and all of them were associated with the hunger and thirst. And tat ayatana prarthanam, and then all of them say, we want a house to live. And tadartham gavadi pradarshanam, and for them the cow and the horses were created. Tesham yatha ayatanam praveshanam, and all of the gods, they entered their respective place. Agni has gone in the mouth, etc. And srushtasya anyasya palayanam, and then the anna, the food which was created, it started running. And vagadibihi tajjigruksha, and then all the faculties like the speech, the nose, the ears, the shishna, etc., they wanted to hold that anna, but they could not hold. Etat sarvam sima vidarana pravesham samam eva. So your question was, this Paramatma is all pervading. How can he enter by opening the top? So this is also there. You think about it. So, now the Purva Pakshi, the student asks a question. Astu tarri sarvam eva idam anupapannam. Therefore all this is cock and bull story. See? This is what I also say. This is all nonsense. I don't believe in this thing. So the teacher says, no Maharaj, atra atma avabodha matrasya vivikshatatvad sarvo ayam arthavadaha iti adoshaha. Now see, what is the purpose of telling this story? Unless the purpose is clear in our mind, we will always be confused. Now I'll tell you a story to make this point clear. There was a family and a small child was crying. So big child was there. So the mother was busy in cooking. So she told the big child, hey, come on, take this baby and put him to sleep. I think he's feeling sleepy and therefore he's becoming cranky. So the bigger child took the small one and started walking here and there. And I, being useless, I was also with that girl. So she started showing to that child, hey, look, see the cow has come. The child will stop crying for 2 minutes, look at the cow. Then suddenly he'll remember, I was crying, again. And then again that bigger child will show the small one. See, the car is running. See, which is this car? It is red or green or yellow. And again the child will look at that child, stop crying, and after some time again reminding my duty is not complete, again and in this manner there was a break in his continuity of crying. So after many breaks of continuity in crying here, then slowly he forgot to cry and slept. So when all this was done and the baby was put to sleep, then I asked that bigger girl, I said, hey, what were you doing? Swamiji, I was putting this fellow to sleep, what else? I said, why do you tell me lies? He said, what lies, Swamiji? I am not telling you lies. I said, yes, you are telling me blatant lies. How come? I said, you have shown the child, the cow, the car, the mosquitoes, the road, the trees, the dogs. You were showing the child like that. And you are telling me lies that you are putting him to sleep. In which language? See the cow means go to sleep. See the car means go to sleep. See the tree means go to sleep. No language has this meaning. So that girl, she got confused. She said, Swamiji, I think it is good you are Swami. You will not understand this. Now, see what was the purpose? Purpose of showing the car, purpose of showing the dog was not to show the dog and the cat. The purpose was to keep the child sleeping. In the same manner, this story that the whole thing was created and the Atma felt I am alone getting bored, why not create the things? And he started creating one by one. After having created, he entered and then came to realize that I am the Brahman. Why this story? By knowing this story, nothing happens. Nobody is benefited. Therefore, what is the prayojan, what is the purpose of the story? And this is what is said here, that atra atma avabodha matrasya vivikshitvat sarvo ayam arthavadaha iti adoshaha. So arthavad means what? Something is said which does not have that particular direct meaning of the said. Like in the story which I told you, when the child was showing to the small brother that this is a cow, this is a dog, in that story, this is a cow, this is a dog, is arthavad. That is not the purpose. So arthavad is some kind of statements which will ultimately lead you to the reality, but the statement by itself is meaningless. Arthavad means to draw the point to our knowledge. Some examples are quoted. That is the meaning of arthavad. Like, one example I'll give in arthavad. In Tulsi Ramayana, it comes. When Hanumanji for the first time made Bhagwan Ramachandra in a disguise of a brahmachari, and then Bhagwan Ramachandra recognized him, and then he felt bad that, I have deceived the Lord. So he again revealed his original form, and then he again saluted the Lord. So that time Bhagwan Ramachandra takes him and hugs and tells that, oh, I like you more than Bharat. Now when he says, I like you more than Bharat, that does not mean that he is condemning Bharat. See? This is called as arthavad. So, ayam arthavadaha iti adoshaha. And Mayavi Vadva, another example is given. Why this whole story is shown? Mayavi Vadva, Mahamayavi, Deva Sarvajneha, Sarvashaktihi, Sarvam Etat Chakara. So, the Lord is Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman, like a Mayavi, like a magician. And like a magician does so many things. Now the Lord being the supreme most magician, for him everything is possible. Therefore, this kind of question, how he thought and how he entered, everything is possible. Because, then why this story is told? Third alternative thinking. Sukha avabodhana pratipatyartham lokavad akhyayikadi prapanche iti yuktataraha pakshaha. See, sukha avabodhana pratipatyartham, for easy understanding by the people, this is told in the story form. So, lokavat akhyayikadi prapanchaha, So like, in the world, things are always communicated through stories. Like we have seen in our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's gospel, every now and then he tells one or the other story. Like yesterday we heard the story about, the two kaupina, two langotis, underwears of the Swami. Now because of that, one rat came and took one, so he thought, why not to have a cat, and then from the cat, like that. So the whole story is not that there was a Swami and this happened, but the story indicates that how from an insignificant thing the whole world is created and we get caught up in our own creation. This is the meaning. This is how to tell this subtle truth, easily to be comprehended by the common people. So lokavad akhyayika. Akhyayika means storytelling. Akhyayikadi prapancha iti yuktataraha pakshaha. Therefore, this was said was okay. Now, see, very important sentence. Nahi srishtya khyayikadi parijnanad kinchit phalam ishyate. Suppose you know the world is created. So by knowing the creation of the world, you are not benefited. See? Like, many people, when they just want to go from one place to another place, change the job and this. Now what they are getting? No, I was bored here, so I thought, why not go to New Zealand? So I go to New Zealand. Then there also I thought it will be good here, but here I have to do everything. I am tired here, At least in India we used to have the servants and things were okay. At least house it was comfortable, out may not be. Here outside it is comfortable, in the house but it is so terrible. I think I should go back. So what is the purpose of knowing that the world is created and the world is not created? What is the purpose of knowing, oh, that country is good, this country is good? Are you directly benefited? And what is the benefit? Benefit is only aikat brahmatmaikya bodha. If that is not happening, then the story of creation is only a fun, it has no meaning. And therefore, nahi srishtyakhyaikadi parijnanad kinchit phalam ishyate. Then aikya atma swarupa parijnanat too. But when we will come to know that in and through the whole story what is said is Atma is ekameva dvitiya neha nanasti kinchana. So when we come to know this Atma aikya swarupa parijnanatu amrutatvam phalam, one comes to attain immortality. So this story of creations in our scriptures is not for proving the creation, but to bring to our notice through the topic of creation the supreme reality. That is the purpose. Therefore, aikatmya swarupa parijnanatva amrutatva phalam sarva upanishad prasiddham. And this is what is said in all the Upanishad, that unless you recognize your immortal self, you will be suffering. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. It will continue on and on and on. Therefore, it is extremely necessary that this whole story of creation brings our attention to the underlying, undivided, non-dual reality which does not exclude us. So that is our essential nature. So, smrutishu cha gitadyasu savam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram ityadina. And so also in the 13th chapter of Gita, it is said that he who recognizes this one common denominator, one supreme reality in all the things, he alone attains immortality, is said in Gita also. Now, after having said that to reveal the Atma Darshan, the story was said. Now the student Purva Pakshi asks a question. This is a very beautiful argument, and it is quite kind of terse expressions. Be very attentive. Nanu traya atmanaha. Now there are three kinds of atmas. Bhokta, karta, samsari jiva, ekaha, sarvaloka shastra prasiddhaha. First atma is the jivatma. And who is the jivatma? Bhokta, karta, samsari, jiva. So the jivatma is the first atma who is the enjoyer, doer and the sufferer. And this is loka and shastra prasiddha. This is known among the public as well as according to scriptures. Atma number one. Second atma. Aneka prani karma phala upabhoga yogya अनेक अधिष्ठान वल लोक देह निर्माणेन लिंगेन यथा शास्त्र प्रदर्शितेन पुर प्रासादी निर्माण लिंगेन तद विषय कौशल ज्ञानवान तत्कर्ता तक्षादि इव ईश्वरः सर्वज्ञः जगतः कर्ता द्वितीयश्चेतना आचेतन आत्मा अवगम्यते. Now there is second atma. What is the second atma? Like the creator, how aneka prani karma phala bhoga yogya for the experiences of all the karma phala of all the beings, aneka adhisthanavat, by creating many abodes to reside, many lokas, deha nirmanena lingena, and he has created so many bodies for every jivas. And yatha shastra pradarshitena, and this is told in the scriptures. How it is told in the scripture? Pura prasadadi nirmana lingena. Like when we see a big building, etc. So by looking at the building, we imagine and we say there must be the builder of this building. So tad vishaya kaushala jnanavan tad karta sakshat takshadi iva ishvaraha. So like the various people who have constructed this house, in the same manner, this lovely, wonderful human body and the other living beings and the world which is created, there has to be one creator. And he has to be sarvajnaha. He must be the omniscient. And therefore, jagataha karta. He is the creator of this world. This is dvitiyaha chetana atma avagamyate. So first atma is the jiva. Second atma is the Ishvara. Now the Jiva and Ishvara, these two atme, both of them are according to the scriptural authority. Now there is third atma also. Yato vacho nivartante neti neti ityadi shastra prasiddhaha aupanishadaha purushastrutiyaha. And there is third atma about which the Upanishad says, yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. That atma which cannot be spoken of, which cannot be thought of, and everything is negated, and when we reach a point where nothing can be negated, that is the atma. In this manner, in the Upanishad, third atma is spoken of. In this manner, evam ete traya atmanaha anyonya vilakshanaha. And in this manner, the three atmas are totally different from each other. Because one atma is samsari, the second atma is the Ishvara, and the third atma has nothing to do with both Ishvara and the samsari. So, evam ete traya atmanaha. And anyonya vilakshanaha, and they are different from each other. One is created, second is creator, and third is neither created nor creator. Three of them. So traya katham ekam eva atma advitiya asamsari jatum jnatum shakyate. So if there are three of them, then how say that there is only one atma and one without a second and he is not a samsari? How to understand this? How to know this? So, this is the question. So, when you say that this Atma came to realize that I am Brahman, but there are three Atme. Now, which Atma came to realize that I am Brahman? Either Jivatma came to realize, or the Paramatma came to realize, or the Ishvara came to realize. And if they are three, how can you say there was only one Atma? So, please solve this riddle. Now, the teacher takes up, okay, out of these three, tell me one. Tatra jiva eva tavat katham jnayate. Okay, out of these three Atma, first you started with jiva, let us take that. So please tell me, how do you know the jiva? Oh, it is simple. Nanu evam jnayate shrota manta drashta adeshta agoshta vijnata prajnata iti. Because if the jiva is not in the body, there is no hearer. So he who is the Shrota, hearer, Manta, thinker, Drashta, seer, Adeshta, the one who is giving the orders, Agoshta, the one who is talking the words, and Vijnata, who is the knower, and Prajnata. So in this manner, behind the body there has to be a being, a living being, and because of which all the functions of the body are going on. If the body is dead, nobody talks. Dead persons don't talk, don't hear, don't smell, don't touch. So there has to be somebody in that body, and that is called as the Jivatma. So by the functioning in the body, we infer the Jivatma. This is the meaning. So now the Siddhanti, the teacher, takes up. Nanu vipratisiddham jnayate yaha श्रवणादि कर्तृत्वे नामतः मंता विज्ञाता विज्ञाता इति च तथा न मते हे वंतारम मन्विथा न विज्ञाते हे विज्ञातारम विजानीया इत्यादि च. Now this Atma, which is, now here is a very subtle thing, please be attentive. I will tell you first and then we will go into the words. Words will confuse you. See, electricity, when it is functioning through the element of the bulb, then there is light. Now there are two things. One is electricity, and second is expression of that electricity through the element as light. But what we say, who is illuminating? The light is illuminating, not the electricity. Because that is direct, that is pratyaksha. So here also the same way, that which is known as the hearer, smeller, taster, toucher, that Atma appears to be separate from the absolute reality. See? Vipratisiddham jnayate yaha श्रवणादि कर्तृत्वे नामतः मंता विज्ञाता विज्ञाता इति च. So this Atma is how it is of the opposite nature. How? The pencil is. How I know? Because the Jiva knows that there is an object and seen by the eyes the pencil is. When the pencil is taken away, who knows the absence of the pencil? Because the absence of the color and form cannot be comprehended by the eyes. Eyes can function only in the area of color and form. So the Viruddha Dharma. Therefore, Vipratisiddham jnayate yaha shravanadi kartrutve namataha manta avidnyata vidnyata iti cha. Therefore, this Atma Tattva, Amata and the one who is contemplated. That means that which cannot be known and the one who is knowing everything. Now see, this consciousness when is functioning through the conditioning of the eyes, the colors and forms are known. When the conditioning of the eyes is there, but there are no colors and forms, in that case, do we say that the knower behind the eyes is absent? No, he is not absent. But now, because there is nothing to illuminate color and form, so who is present in the absence of the conditioned seer is the reality. And that reality cannot be known. Therefore, amata, he cannot be known. Avidnyatam vijanatam, vidnyatam avijanatam. In the Isha, in Kenopanishad we have seen. Therefore, Shravanadi kartrutve namataha manta avidnyata, vidnyata cha. So he is the knower, but he cannot be known. And in the same manner, tathana matehe mantaram manvitha. No vidnyatehe vidnyataram vijaniyaha ityadi cha. Therefore, don't try to understand the knower of the known. Matehe mantaram manvitha na. So, the knower of the thoughts cannot be known. See? Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya nasvedasaha avijnatam vijanatam vijnatam avijanatam, the same thing. So, matehe mantaram na manvitha, similarly, na vidnyatehe vidnyataram vijaniya. Because eyes cannot see, he being the eye of the eye, nose of the nose, mind of the mind, speech of the speech. So there are two things. One is the absolute and the second is the conditioned. So the conditioned cannot know the absolute. It is something like this, to give a gross example. When you are standing before the mirror, there is a reflection. Will that reflection tell, hey, there is no proper hairstyle, take a comb and do that? No. Mirror doesn't talk. The reflection doesn't talk. In the same manner, this reflected consciousness through the various conditionings creates the Jiva Bhava, which has no entry for the absolute. Take another example to make this point. In the light of sun, everything is seen. And what we are seeing is not the sunlight. It is the reflected light. Now this reflected light cannot illuminate the sun. See? Suppose you take a bulb, bright bulb, and focus the light of that bulb on a mirror. Now from the mirror there will be reflected light. Now that reflected light will be able to illuminate all other things. But that reflected light will not be illuminate the original bright light. See? Therefore it is said here, na matehe mantaram manvitha. Don't try to know through your mind the knower behind the mind. It cannot be known. So there are two knowers. One knower is knowing through the mind and the second knower is knowing without the mind. Now, again, the Purva Pakshi asks a question. Satyam vipratishiddham yadi pratyakshena jnayate sukhadivat प्रत्यक्ष ज्ञानम च निवार्यते न matehe mantaram manvitha ityadina ज्ञायते tu श्रवणादि लिंगेन तत्र कुतो विप्रतिषेधः. Now the Purva Paksha asks a question. Yes, this Paramatma, the supreme reality, the absolute Atma, where yato vacho nivartante, cannot be known directly like the joy and happiness and sorrows of life. So, yes, this is the opposite, satyam vipratishiddham. Because, yadi pratyakshena jnayate sukhadivat. But this is not directly known objectively like the joy, sorrows, etc. Pratyaksha vijnanam cha nivaryate. And only to negate that the Atma cannot be directly known, therefore it is said, na matehe mantaram manvitha ityadi. Jnayate tu shravanadi lingena. But the same Atma can be known as reflected through the sense organs. And therefore, where is the difference? So, there is no contradiction. Meaning what? when it is said, don't try to know the absolute reality by your senses, etc., because it is not a direct object of perception. But the same Atma can be known as reflecting through the sense organs. In this way it can be known. Now here, what is the condition? You know the question. Question is, Atma is not direct like the joy and sorrows. Okay. So you cannot know him through your senses mind. Okay. Now, but this Atma is known when he is functioning through the senses. So when the senses are functional, by looking at the functions of the senses, you can infer the absolute reality. This is what he is telling. But this is not. Because what is known through inference with reference to the sense organs, etc., it is only the relative, it is Jivatma, not the Paramatma. Therefore, Nanu, Shravanadi Lingena api katham jnayate. Now tell, how can one know even through the linga, the signs of ear, etc.? Here also there is a very good argument. Yavata yada shrunoti atma shrotavyam shabdam tada tasya shravana kriyaya eva vartamanatvad manana vijnana kriyena sambhavataha. When the Atma is, according to you, when you say that the Atma can be known through the linga of the ear, etc. So he said, Yavata yada shrunoti atma shrotavyam shabda. When the absolute reality through the ear is hearing the sound, and you say he continues to be absolute, no. Because Yada shrunoti shrotavyam shabda tada tasya shravana kriyaya vartamanatvad, being occupied with the process of hearing, manana vijnana kriyena sambhavataha. That time this Atma is neither reflecting nor recognizing. He is only hearing. Na sambhavataha. Atmani paratrava, in himself or anywhere else. Tatha Anyatrapi manana kriyadisu, and the same thing is true with reference to other experiences. Nahi mantavyad anyatra mantu manana kriya sambhavati. And then, this is also another very important principle. The process of seeing is always falling on the object of knowledge. See? Here, example, mantavyad anyatra mantuhu manana kriya na sambhavati. Say, when we are sitting quiet, somebody asks this question, hey, what are you thinking about? Meaning, thinking is about the object of thought. See how important it is. The moment the thinking starts, you are in the mantavya, in the objective world. Therefore, this mind, the moment it starts thinking, it has lost into subject-object duality. So when this is said, the students again ask a question, Nanu manasa sarvameva mantavyam. Oh, mind can contemplate on everything. The Siddhanti says, Satyameva tathapi sarvamapi mantavyam mantam antarena natu mantum shakyam. And therefore, what you say is true. But this reflection cannot be without the reflector. Who is doing the mananam? Who is contemplating? Who is thinking? Unless there is a thinker, there cannot be thinking. So you cannot say, mind can think about everything. So by the mind itself will go on thinking. There has to be a thinker behind the thinking. Therefore, satyameva tathapi sarvam api mantavyam mantaram antarena na mantum shakyam. So behind the process of thinking, there has to be a thinker. Okay, yadi evam kim syat. Okay, it is like that. So what? This kind of questions tell. Now the Purva Pakshi, the student, is getting tired. So the teacher says now, this is very important topic. idamatra syad. Yes, there is very important thing when this is known. What is that? Idamatra syad. Sarvasya yoyam manta sa manta eva iti na sa mantavyaha syat. So, the knower is always a knower and he can never become the known. See how important. This is the meaning. And second important thing is that the knower is one. Knower are not many. And the known are many. So, sarvasya yaha ayam manta, sa manta eva. He who is knower of everything, he is only the knower. And na mantavyaha syat saha. He can never become the object of knowledge. Now, nacha dvitiyo mantuhu manta asti. Because for this knower of all the thoughts, there is no second knower again. See? Nacha dvitiyo mantuhu manta asti. There is no second knower or the first knower. Yada sa atmana eva mantavyaha tada yena cha mantavyaha atma atmana yascha mantavyaha atma to dvau prasajyeyatam. If you say that this atma is known by the atma alone, then the question will come, this atma which is known by atma alone, then that first, second atma is known by which atma? This is called as regress infinitum. He will go on ending up into the absurdity. And therefore there will be more than one atma, and atma tau dvau prasajyeyatam, and this is wrong. Eka eva dvidha mantru mantavyattvena dvishakali bhaved vamshadivat. Or we will have to say that one atma alone has broken into two like the bamboo. When you cut the bamboo into two halves. So, bhaved vamshadivat. Vamsha means bamboo. So, eka eva atma mantru mantavya. Then we will have to say the one atma has become the known and the same atma has become the knower. Because first atma was known by the second atma and the second atma known by the third atma, and in this manner there will be no end to it. And therefore we will have to say that the same atma has become the knower and the known, and it is wrong. Ubhayatha api anupapattihi eva. Because the knower can never become the known. This is the rule. How simple it is. See, eyes are the knower of colors and forms. Now the eyes cannot become the known for the colors and forms. Eyes become knower for the mind. So eyes become the known and mind is the knower. Now, the mind cannot be known by all that which is known by the mind, because the mind is the absolute knower. Now go one step further. These modifications of the mind are known by the consciousness. So, the mind can never know the consciousness, and the consciousness can never be known by itself, because the moment the consciousness will know by itself, then what we'll have to say? That consciousness is both the knower and the known, but it never happens. Either you are a known or the knower. And therefore, he gives an example. Yatha pradipayoho prakashya prakashakatvad anupapattihi samatvad tadvat. Like if there are two lamps standing in front of each, should we say that this lamp is illuminating that lamp and that lamp is illuminating this lamp? No. They appear to be two, but they are one and the same. In this manner, there cannot be knower and known together, because both of them are the illuminator and therefore they are only one. Nacha mantuhu mantavye manana vyapara shunyaha kalaha asti atma mananaya. And when the mind is busy in contemplating about the worldly things, to this contemplator, where is a time to contemplate about the self? See? The moment mind starts thinking about itself, the mind disappears. Manasam tu kim margane krute naiva manasam. See? That is why the mind does not want to focus attention on itself, because in that is the annihilation of the mind. And nobody wants one's annihilation. Remaining we'll see in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.